So for this last installment of my Canada adventure, I was really debating on if I even wanted to put it out because we didn't actually catch a muskie. But I figured to remain faithful to the story, to remain faithful to try and tell the story of the trip, it was important to put it out there, and I was just trying to figure out the right way to do it, the medium to do it. The footage has been sitting there. So I guess since I wasn't Johnny on the spot with you know, my videography at the time, I'm just gonna kind of narrate it along and just kind of take you through the days as we arrived in Nestor Falls and kind of explored around Lake of the Woods. So when we arrived in Nestor Falls, I learned that Barry had a work emergency pop up and he was going to have to return home much earlier than we anticipated. So our time was going to be cut significantly shorter than what we thought it was going to be. Meaning that during my time there with Barry, we were only going to get like one full day of fishing and like a half day outside of that. So you know, it's just one of those things where when life happens you can't really prepare for it, and you know, you just got to kind of roll with the punches. But again, it's tough too when you're a long ways from home and you get that call and then you've got to plan around it, but then your buddy's got to figure out how the trip is going to work without you there and all the things. So, you know, fortunately for me, I was very lucky that Thatcher from Droptine Tackle was kind enough to invite me out, you know, for basically like a little bit more than a half day the following day that Barry had to leave. So essentially my trip got cut short about a day, but you know, it happens. It's not that, it's not a big deal. It was all part of the adventure and still a ton of fun. So the first night that Barry and I were out, we had a couple of follows, nothing too serious.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, he skirted clear over by you. That was a fish. Late one, late one.
But it was just like a beautiful area to be in. Like that Nestor Falls area in Lake of the Woods is just, it's just absolutely gorgeous. I see why people gravitate towards that kind of trip and that kind of environment. It's just truly remarkable. But we learned very quickly that the muskies were going to be muskies there. We also learned from the people at the camp we were staying at that the muskie fishing was really hot the previous week. So generally speaking, not a great sign for us. But we grounded out that night and then had a few brews and some pizza, and then it was time to turn in because we were going to get our full day in with Thatcher the following day. So another day, another boat here in Canada with Barry and Thatcher from Droptine Tackle. We're rocking it in the spaceship today. Hopefully Barry and I can make something happen here on Lake of the Woods. Thatcher has been so very kind to take us out and kind of show us around his neck of the woods, pun intended. Yep. So we'll see what happens today. Hopefully we can find some fish. Barry and I got out a little bit yesterday, had a little action, but nothing substantial. So we'll see if we can get on the program today and make something happen. Stick with us. So that following day with Thatcher, just, you know, kind of the worst conditions that you could ask for or want in terms of a muskie trip. You know, it was flat calm and it was sunny out and the skies were high. There's just no wind. We had kind of like a mini cold front come through, and it was just like, it was everything that you didn't want in muskie conditions. And the muskies were very much, they were very much tuned into the fact that that was what they didn't want. We had like one real good opportunity that day. I had one swing and miss the ridge.
Yeah, that's also very true. Oh yeah. Oh, there's one. There's one. Late one.
I had one swing and miss the angry dragon.
Clam.
Yeah.
Oh, I just had one swing and miss. Oh my God, really? He took a shot at it and just didn't quite get it.
You see him?
Yeah.
You know, Barry lost one in the 8. Thatcher had one play in the 8 for quite a while.
I'm surprised they don't do it in the wintertime. They don't want to get good enough ice.
Oh, you got one. You got one. Big circle. Oh,
Oh, God damn it. How did that happen, dude?
I'm sure that I'm going to roll some of those clips as I'm kind of going through this. But Barry did catch a really nice pike that day. I mean, the thing, I don't remember what we bumped it at, maybe 36 or 37, and it was just thick as a brick.
cool. Yeah. Yep, he's got one, dude. I'm way out there. Thatcher, if you got the bag.
It's not a huge one, but
Here, I'll get out of your way.
big pike.
Yeah. We were just talking about. Heck yeah, dude. That's a great fish.
Yeah, better than a kick in the dick.
It's a great fish, dude. I think he's gonna be bigger than we think.
Yeah.
35.
Yeah.
30, almost
No,
36.
36. His nose is hanging off the front of that, but
Looks like you might have been caught once before.
excellent fish there, Barry. That's just an awesome fish.
Yeah, let's get a ski. Maybe we got a little window there.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't care what they are.
That smell.
E-socks, man.
Just like the song.
Good fish. That's your nice work, dude.
Cool.
Thank you.
Finally got the rod bent.
Like, just a really nice fish, and it was kind of a highlight to a day of tough fishing. I think we spent 10 hours-ish on the water that day, and you know it's a really bad sign when the guy who is literally guided there and is taking you out is like, man, I've not seen it this tough ever on Lake of the Woods. And it's a really bad sign when someone like Thatcher, who has spent like the majority of his life fishing that lake for walleyes and muskies and taking people out, when you're with him and he's like scratching his head and at a loss, it's usually not a good sign. So, you know, we fished it hard the rest of that day, and we just didn't really have any other opportunities. I mean, that was just how it was. We hit a plethora of spots. We ran, you know, a huge chunk of the lake, and it just wasn't happening. It's just really that simple. It just wasn't happening. Really fortunate to have the opportunities that we did that day, but again, it was just really tough fishing. And that happens. I mean, I suppose that's kind of the rubber band effect of musky fishing, where it's snapping back because we had just had I had just had a really good day with Glenn, and like Connor and I got one that morning, and it just, you know, the rubber band snapped back, and it just was not happening those 2 days on Lake of the Woods. So the following day, Thatcher was so very kind and invited me to join him for a little while on one of his favorite lakes. And it was, you know, it's a lake that's adjacent to Lake of the Woods, but I don't think it's technically Lake of the Woods. Anyway, doesn't matter. It was a beautiful lake, super clear body of water, tons of fun. You know, we fished really, really hard that day too. In the morning, I had fish coming in on the ridge. You could see them reacting, and we were trying to cast back to them with rubber, and they just weren't having it. It was very clear early on too that we had this storm front that was very quickly building, very quickly, you know, kind of coming in.
And that's not a good thing.
Yeah, they're beelining it back to their cabin.
Might be all she wrote for us, Thatcher, unfortunately. I don't know.
I'm just not gonna go and run into it right now.
So, you know, that was kind of in the back of our minds, but we were kind of hoping on the sly that the fish would react in some way to that front that was building. So we were fishing a break line, and you know, Thatcher side scanned some bait off of it would have been the starboard side of the boat. So it would have been the Canadian side of the boat, or the right side of the boat, which was great because it's like, oh, there's bait, so there's gonna be muskies. So I'm like burning my Ridgway in to try and cast to the bait that's off to the starboard side, and I'm not paying attention. So of course, you know, I have one coming in hot and I don't even notice because I'm trying to get the bait in so I can cast to the school of bait. And of course, you'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah, if I was a single dude without a family or whatever, sure, fall would be an awesome time to come up. Okay. Is there something out that way?
Yeah, there's a bit of a hump out here, but there's just a ton of bait.
Okay. Yeah, once I get this one in, I will. Oh, right there, dude. Oh, I fudged that up, dude. I got two in a hurry. A little bit, yeah. Yeah, a little bit. He's going back your way now. Oh man, dude, he just didn't quite grab it. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I got in too much of a hurry to whip one out back that way.
No, you're good.
And he came up out of nowhere.
Unfortunately, that didn't really work out. I pretty much burnt that fish because I did the one thing that you shouldn't do when a fish is that hot. Take the bait out of the water. That's pretty much the way that you screw those up. So again, I got bit in the butt because I wasn't paying attention. Was it a giant? No. Would I have loved to catch that fish? Absolutely. It would have been super cool. And we just, you know, we kept pounding away, and eventually the storm broke. And it was kind of scary because you could see where it was building. We're on this huge lake, you know, we're miles from the ramp, and just like, I'm with just some random dude in the wilds of Canada, which Thatcher's a great guy, so like obviously everything's fine, but it's just kind of one of those strange experiences where it's just like, yeah, this is how things can potentially go wrong in a hurry if you're not prepared or not with someone who knows what they're doing. So anyway, Thatcher and I waited out the storm in a safe spot, and then we gave one more spot a go. We had a couple follows. I ended up catching a pike on the ridge, and then unfortunately Thatcher had to get back home. I mean, I could not be more appreciative of him taking time out of his day, out of his schedule to accommodate, you know, my needs to try and get on the water for one more day. So that was super cool. I'll never forget that. Just such an awesome dude, an awesome experience out there fishing with him that day. Yeah, that was really neat. I guess my biggest takeaways from the Canada trip generally would have been that muskies are muskies everywhere. You know, it doesn't matter where you're fishing. There's no secret sauce. There's no secret equation. There's bite windows. There's moon. There's good days. There's bad days. There's medium days. And I mean, we really hit all of those throughout the trip. We had some unforgettable days. We had some days where opportunities were so close yet so far away, and we had some where it was just, you know, it was just tough fishing, and that's just how it goes sometimes. It's never a guarantee, even when you're in Canada, in these places where, you know, it's conceivably more remote, conceivably easier to catch these fish. That doesn't necessarily mean that things will be easy. It was a ton of fun those last few days. I think honestly in those last few days I matured a lot, just because it's one of those things where you take a lot of time away from your family, away from your friends, away from life itself to go try and do something. I mean, a lot of people take trips, but like I had this vision of doing this documented experience, which I think for the most part I did a good job of capturing. But when you feel like it's kind of falling off the rails and out of your control, because you can't control if the fish bite, you can't control what the fish do, and you feel like that's not working out the way that you envisioned, and you've spent all this time and you've spent this money and made this huge effort to try and do this thing that you had this vision for, and it doesn't quite materialize in the final stretch the way that you want it to. It's definitely a lot to process, and it's definitely a spot where, like, reflecting on it, it was a time where I think I grew personally, because like it's just one of those things in life where not every time things are going to work out exactly as you plan it or exactly how you plan it, and part of it is just rolling with the punches, and then also probably, like life, just being able to appreciate the moments that are most appreciable, I guess, which would be just having the time on the water with friends and good people, like being able to have fish fries every night with the pals crew, with Connor, and you know, enjoying every little sunset and every bit of sunset country, was really a really neat thing. And at the end of the day, you know, the end of the trip didn't quite materialize in the way that I wanted it to, but like reflecting on it, there's no way I could not consider that to be a trip of a lifetime. It was just absolutely, it was astonishing in the best way, and like awe-inspiring in others. So I'm really looking forward to trying it again this year, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll all work out, and you know, maybe we'll find the giant and maybe we won't, but like Connor says, it'll be 100% chance of fun. So thank you all for following along on the Canadian experience. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did living it and filming it. If you enjoy it, please let me know. It will give me the drive and motivation to do it again this year, and maybe years in the future. So anyway, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. I'm gonna get to bed. I've got a lot planned for this year. I've got many things that I want to accomplish, both in life and fishing, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one.